Imagine this. Britain is in the middle of an energy crisis. Fuel prices are going through the roof. The Strait of Hormuz has been blocked by an Iran war. Petrol stations are sweating. And the one man with the power to do something about it is sat there going, nah, I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ed Miliband experience. Yes, the Energy Secretary, the bloke whose actual job title is Secretary of State for Energy Security, is currently the biggest obstacle to Britain's energy security. You genuinely could not write this. Except apparently you can, because it's happening in real time, and we are all just living inside Ed Miliband's ideology while paying for it on our gas bills. Let's rewind. The UK's largest untapped oil field, Rosebank, is estimated to contain up to 300 million barrels of oil. Climate skeptic. Then there's Jackdaw, a gas field located about 150 miles off Aberdeen that could supply gas to more than 1 million homes and account for up to 6% of the UK's future gas needs. The national 6%. In an energy crisis. That's not nothing. That is absolutely something. And Ed Miliband has been sitting on both of them like a hen guarding ideological eggs that nobody asked for. The Energy Secretary is understood to be resisting the development of Rosebank, while also delaying a decision on the Jackdaw gas field license. Climate skeptic, and his reason? More drilling won't bring bills down. That's the line. That's the argument. That's what the man responsible for keeping the lights on in the United Kingdom is going with while people choose between heating and eating. Not even a we're working on it. Just, drilling won't help. Cheers, Ed. Now here's where it gets properly entertaining, because this isn't just the opposition having a go. This is Labour eating itself alive. The Chancellor Rachel Reeves said she would be very happy to support extraction at both Rosebank and Jackdaw because of the positive effect on jobs and tax revenue. Climate skeptic, the Chancellor, of the same government, publicly contradicting the Energy Secretary. That's not a policy disagreement. That's a cabinet civil war dressed up in parliamentary language. And Reeves wasn't alone. Anas Sarwar, Scotland's Labour leader, added his voice to the pro-drilling camp, stating his belief that the licenses should be approved, becoming the second most senior Labour figure to endorse the projects. GB News, Scotland's Labour leader, the man who presumably quite likes keeping Scottish oil workers employed. Who knew? Then there's the backbenchers. Henry Tufnell, the MP leading the campaign for the government to embrace British energy production, argued that drilling in the North Sea is vital for domestic energy security and good for the economy, with increased tax receipts and jobs. Luke Akehurst maintained there was no contradiction between developing renewable energy sources and using remaining reserves of North Sea oil and gas. Graham Downey insisted that a secure energy future required more of everything. GB News, more of everything. You love to see Labour MPs sounding more sensible than Labour's own Energy Secretary. That's where we are. Meanwhile, across the dispatch box, Kimi Badenoch told the Commons that the Jackdaw gas field could be up and running before winter, with all that gas used here in the UK to heat 1.6 million homes. Enough to power Norfolk, Suffolk and Essex put together. What's up with that? She then asked whether it was Keir Starmer or Ed Miliband who was actually running the government. Which is a savage question. And the answer Starmer gave was even better. The Prime Minister claimed he had no power to approve more licenses and insisted the final call lay with the Energy Secretary. What's up with that? He has no power. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has no power to override his own Energy Secretary during a national energy crisis. Keir Starmer, the man with the nuclear codes, the man who speaks to world leaders, the man who runs the country, cannot tell Ed Miliband to crack on with a gas field. Either that's constitutionally baffling or Starmer is hiding behind Miliband like a child using their mate as a human shield at the head teacher's door. Badenoch said he was hiding behind so many people and called him the first Prime Minister to be pushed around by his own Energy Secretary. What's up with that? The final straw for Keir Starmer may well have been the change of heart by the SNP, whose leader John Swinney announced support for developing the Jackdaw field, with Labour looking set to suffer a hefty reversal in the Scottish Parliament and local elections in a few weeks. The Spectator, there it is. The politics. The moment the SNP started backing North Sea drilling, suddenly the calculation changed. Nothing shifts a Labour position faster than the threat of losing Scottish seats. Principles are expensive. Votes are priceless. And what does jackdaw actually mean in practice? In its first year, jackdaw could be producing the equivalent of 40,000 barrels of oil per day, 6% of the UK's North Sea gas production. And rather than being sold abroad, it will be linked by pipeline to the UK, helping to push down very high wholesale prices. The Spectator. So it will go into the UK grid. It will reduce how much expensive liquefied natural gas we have to import, and it will relieve pressure on bills. But for months we were told it would do none of those things. Someone is wrong, and given that Miliband is now apparently approving it, the suspicion is that someone was him. Now Rosebank is still off the table. Miliband previously described the Rosebank oil field as climate vandalism and is still understood to oppose it. GB News, climate vandalism. That's the phrase he used. In opposition, when oil prices were lower, the world was less volatile, and a war hadn't blocked a major shipping route. Context. The GMB Union, one of Labour's largest affiliates, has backed opening both fields, climate skeptic, and the union has previously warned of a growing sense of betrayal among North Sea workers. Those are Labour's own voters. Real people, real jobs, real betrayal. The bigger picture here is simple. Britain has oil and gas beneath its own waters. We are in an energy crisis made worse by global instability. Every barrel we extract domestically is one we don't have to buy from someone else at crisis-inflated prices. And the man in charge of energy security spent months blocking that, then partially caved when the polls started looking ugly, while the Prime Minister pretended he had no say in the matter. This is not governance. This is a game of political hot potato played with people's heating bills. Ed Miliband may well end up being remembered as the energy secretary who spent an energy crisis arguing against energy. And Keir Starmer may be remembered as the Prime Minister who shrugged and said it wasn't his department. While Britain shivers, imports expensive gas, and waits for the windmills to catch up, the governing party is in open internal warfare about whether to use the resources sitting right beneath our own feet. If you're as baffled by all this as we are, you know what to do. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to British Reform for more of this every single day.